Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Game Today by Claret and Malcolm. He is Claret, I am Malcolm, and we bring you another episode from the NBA or best about the NBA. Basically, what was going on. So, before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, to like on YouTube and on Instagram, to follow on our social media platforms, Facebook. You say that on X, right? X. Um, yeah, and comment, share, subscribe, like, follow, everything. Yes, and we thank you guys for supporting us. And yes, Claret, how are you doing before we get into it?
Hey man, I'm doing great. It's a weekend. We're good. We thank God for sure. God is good for sure.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's only one place to start. So the last time we had a podcast, it was actually opening night, which was Tuesday, and there've been quite a couple of games between now and then.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
well, what have you seen between now and then? What do you think about the league? Is it more interesting? Does it look? Is it gonna be fire? What are your conclusions? What are your observations before we
First
go out?
of first of all, man, the like there are like three things that comes out of the mind. Yeah. When you watch the beginning of this season, the first thing is the return of Jamoran and just Instagram feeds of moves and all that stuff. And the other thing is um what is his name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. So
Which team?
sorry?
Which team?
I'm forgetting his name.
Which team?
Exactly. So the more you ask for the team, even the name goes far. But yeah, if I say the name Jamoran, I'll forget. I'll remember the next word. But yeah, it's Jamoran and his highlights and all that. But also the Damian Lillard duo with Yanis, which I think we didn't get as much last year. So it kind of one thing I probably was looking forward to for the beginning of the season, and oh boy, did they deliver! Yeah, so those are the two things, and I can, if you want me, I can get deeper in everything that I think have been so much magical.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we're here for. So
The other thing that I've been so intrigued about is your Lakers, man.
yes,
Um,
sir.
so like, cause when
Oh,
JJ Redick and,
bro.
and and
Wait,
LeBron started the
hold up, hold
pod.
up, hold up. Matter of fact, they are playing right now against the Sacramento, and Sacramento has got a timeout because was leading 14-6. So we'll talk about that.
I mean, if they can win
Uh,
against a bonus, things
we'll
might
talk
be
about Lakers.
changing.
We'll talk about Lakers. We'll talk about Lakers. Those guys are making me feel like damn. But we'll
Yeah,
talk
but
about
the reason why I say the Lakers is because during the pod, the game today, JJ and LeBron, they would start with these because I watched each and every thingy of them because I love the knowledge over there, and they would talk about these things where they're like breaking down every plays run in the NBA on teams they've been on and teams that other teams that have run, right? And it's so much magic to see when JJ Redick is actually running them on a team like Lakers that has not been running plays for the past 2 years under their coach.
mm,
And then you look at the Warriors. I know you don't want me to say about anything about this, but they have blown out every team they've played against. And although
bro.
they're like
Warriors
still
have not played any team, bro. Let's not talk about which team have you guys played. You guys have played which
Blazers
team?
and Jazz,
Blazers and who? And
the
who?
Jazz.
Bro, no, bro. Those are teams that are even not even. Those guys are barely below 500, so they're not
I, I
teams.
mean, I
What,
mean
what,
that, that
what
that's
when you get
that's
real
that's
teams?
really what I said. I know you don't want me
What you
to
get
say
real
that,
teams?
but like when I compare to the preseason and what they like the momentum they're taking and the way Steph Curry isn't doing too much. Because remember, the problem last year was him carrying the
You
team
need
on his
help.
own. But
Yep.
now he needs only
Oh yes,
15.
we need to talk about the whole rotation of Warriors. What, bro? We need to talk
Anyways,
about
we're
that.
warming up. We're
We'll
warming
talk
up.
about.
And
We'll talk
then
about that.
and
We'll talk
then the
about
other
that.
thing that I think I'll close on is
Mm-hmm.
the Phoenix Suns.
What do you see?
Ooh, I think it's clicking. I think it's
Hey,
finally clicking.
they're getting
You
better.
know, um, I
They're
know they
getting better.
lost against your Lakers, but just the ability for Tyus Jones to get the ball to KD when it's necessary, to get the ball to Bill, Bradley Bill, and then Booker, like just the distribution and the way that those guys pull gravity. Now Booker is shooting open jumpers. I'm like, wow, that is incredible, right? So, yeah, the Suns, the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Memphis Grizzlies, just because of the return of Ja. And then the rest of the other teams, it's mostly what we expected. Although some of them got injured, mostly it's what we expected. So there is not so much. And
Yeah.
Ben Simmons,
Can I chime in?
please be my guest.
Yeah. So far, what you said, I agree with whatever you said, and I add on a couple of observations. Number one observation will be Denver Nuggets are not winning shit this year. All
That's
like
why I
they're not
don't.
winning.
That's why I didn't speak about it.
Those guys are not good. They're heavy. They're tired. They're old. And we'll talk about them later on.
I don't
But
know
that's
about old.
they're old. Like bro, they're old. Like who's the youngest player? Like they're
Who
all
is the
old.
oldest player?
Bro, they're old. These guys are old. Like they played against OKC. Like OKC had only young
Let me ask
players.
you. You tell me. Tell me. Jokic. How old is he?
Jokic, I don't like what 20, 20,
29.
29.
Yes.
He's older than Chet. Chet is like 22 or something.
Yeah, but Michael Porter Jr. is, I think, 27 now. Jamal Murray is entering his 29th.
Yeah, but if you compare that to Shea
I
is like
mean, the
younger.
Shays are just babies,
Bro.
man. You can't really, if you but just
So
say like,
that's reason for concern. That's concerning. How comes
the
the younger
hell
team?
no. Say the Thunder are young, but the Nuggets ain't old. They are not old. They're just some.
But I'll get into what exactly Denver is struggling with and why they're not going in area. And then another observation is it looks like Kat and the New York Knicks have figured out how to run some offense through Jalen Brunson. And then the Boston Celtics, of course, still doing their thing. And then the Indiana Pacers dropping 0 points for Tyrese Haliburton. 0 points, zero assists, zero rebounds. He dropped a donut. He dropped a donut. He was dropping donuts yesterday, but one when they played at Madison Square. Tyrese Haliburton. He needs a reason for concern as well.
Yeah.
And then what else did we see? Yeah, and then whatever we talked about in the first game about remember we had a whole breakdown about Minnesota with Julius Randle and then these guys cut with New York Knicks. I think they did pretty well, and not just because they won. You can see now the way the offense was running. And yes, I agree the way the Suns played. They look good, man. They look good, but I feel like the Suns. Let's talk about the Suns. Let's dive into actually one of the topics. The Suns had a very great start. I mean, they were leading Lakers by like 22 points in the second quarter. 22, man. Like, I hadn't even given enough. Like, no, just at the brink of Laker
Yeah.
fans about to exit the arena. Then Lakers, start doing their thing. Austin Reeves starts doing his thing, getting 2 quick points. Anthony Davis, MVP candidate. You had MVP chance as well, Anthony for AD.
Yeah.
The Suns started well, but you talked about the PG position. I feel like they figured it out. They figured out the PG position. But now they figured out the PG position. But now the center is like lacking offensively now. Instead of doing what he's supposed to do offensively, he's asking for ball on the post, like to grab it from the low post, trying to do like moves and stuff. Yet that's not his thing. His thing is to rebound, to block, and and to dominate the paint. And that's not his thing. Nakic in particular, but what I
Yeah.
mean by center. But I feel like they figured out the whole point guard problem that was there last year. Yeah, they were dropping some quick points, but when they started hot. They started hot, and obviously when you have people like AD, is still in a game, and then we saw Lakers do their thing. Lakers do their thing, but we'll dive into Lakers. But in terms of the Suns, they looked good, but when I saw Lakers overtake them in the third quarter, I knew Lakers is not turning back. So,
Yeah,
but
but
give
but
credit.
that's where I think I need to ask you this question, right? What do you think allowed them to actually turn the corner, right? What do you think allowed the Lakers to turn the corner? Is it their offense or is it the poor defense for the Suns?
I think it's a combination of both, obviously. But if I'm to stick with one that outweighed the other, I think Lakers offense, sort of like
Okay.
flipped, had a different mentality, came out the third quarter, different mentality. You heard from the press conference of, oh, I heard from the press conference of JJ Redick saying that in the halftime he told them to forget about the first half, to come and play a new game, get
Yeah.
2 points and defend, get new 2 points, defend, get new 2 points, defend, and you saw that there was a point in the fourth quarter when the Suns didn't have like a field goal. They were only getting like free throws, and Lakers was guarding them properly. But I feel like our offense completely like switched their whole mindset. They started trusting the ball with Austin Reeves, and that's what also Anthony Davis said as well, that they actually trust Austin Reeves now. And I feel like it's a question we'll ask about the Lakers, right? Who is gonna be the third scorer after LeBron and AD? Because clearly the first scorer is AD, the second is LeBron, but who will be the third? Because it looked like Hachimura was playing so well the first game, and now yesterday it looked like Austin Reeves played so well. So I don't know, but is it like a matchup thing is going to consider week in, week out, or day in, day out, game in, game out? We don't know. We'll wait to see. But just to answer your question, JJ really said he just switched their mindset, and all of a sudden they get 2 points, they get 2 points, they get 2 points, two quick points, and obviously our defense has gotten better. And in the NBA, bro, 20 point lead is like nothing anymore. In this generation, so you get 2 points, you defend, and you get the ball back again, and you score again. That's 4 points, and then you're already down 16 now. From 20, you're down 16 already. I'm just in two possessions. That's why it's not a really big deal anymore. So you keep on doing this, you're going to come back from a 20-point deficit. So it may seem big, but I feel like when Anthony Davis starts cooking, like you can see like the actual passion is still there. You can know from the body language if they feel like they're still in
Yeah.
the game, but you could feel that they're still in the game from the third quarter. And obviously they caught up, and the script panned out how it ended to be.
But also like, I understand the credit to the Lakers, but think about this, right? You're looking at the Suns sort of going small, right? You've got Beal closing games, and then Booker closing games, and then KD closing games, right? They look a little smaller. It's easy to pick on them, right? Because as much of those guys are good defenders, none of them can play on LeBron, right? So you leave all these, unattended to positions, and it kind of puts you in a position where you can't actually win games. I think as much as we say that I've figured it out, they might have to think about their uh, defense a little bit, right? Like, move Bradley Beal or somebody else to the bench to not only score coming off the bench, which is, I know it's really tough to say, but not only scoring coming off the bench, but also put another body, taller body, in the lineup, like Royce O'Neal, who can shoot threes, but also play good defense, you know. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they do it going forward, or maybe they'll do it depending on matchups. But they'll figure it out apart from that defensive part.
See, the thing about NBA these days with this whole matchup thing, right, is that NBA now is a very positionless game this generation, and so like it's not really a matchup is not really dictated before the game nowadays. It sort of feels like it's dictated in the game rather than
Yeah,
before the game. Because you saw KD. KD initially was was being guarded like by Jackson Hayes, but as the game went on, he became like the center, like the number five, because Nakic didn't play a good game, so he was subbed off. So you saw like KD playing the actual number five
yeah,
against AD, against Anthony Davis. And then when Anthony Davis, you see him now coming guarding at the perimeter more. You see him outside guarding more. You're not guarding like not perimeter guarding. Forget about when he was hanging in the paint last year, and now you see him switch with KD. He guards KD. Even if KD switches with another player, he's guarding that player, not KD. He's not really following around KD like man to man. If they are playing zone because of height difference and all that, because I don't know, they trust like a matchup, and if there's like a mismatch in like the low post, then they foul obviously to get like you fancy your chances with him shooting two free throws than rather than two quick points. But with the way basketball is now panning out to be with the whole switching defensively and offensively, it's not really about can a guard be just because they're the same height. because it's really about switching. Both offenses and defense are switching, so you just need to get it right, especially on transition defense, because most of the points are determined by transition defense. But yeah, I thought KD played a lot of minutes because Nakish didn't play well, really. And KD looked great actually. He looked like a solid guy. I think he even outplayed LeBron, and LeBron is yet to come to his best. But when he comes to his best, the league's gonna be in shambles. But for now, as I say, we don't need him. With how AD is playing, let's talk about AD. AD has dropped 36 points in the first game, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks. Yesterday, he dropped 35 points, 8 rebounds. Man, AD, like, this guy is good. Like, this guy, AD. AD is him. Like, AD is, he was having MVP chance.
I
And I was
mean,
like, yes,
look,
sir.
when I realized that AD is gonna cook this year, it's when he was shooting the ball in like over players and he's going back talking, not like necessarily talking to the players. He's just like talking like there's something like oh boy, like just the feel he had, why like literally in opening night, I was like, this man is going for a tour that we might not be ready for.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing about Lakers is I am worried about how Lakers starts. We always have slow starts in games, right? But whenever we are in a game in third quarter, fourth quarter, and we have AD and LeBron, like I am not really worried. Like we barely bottle a game, and you know what I mean by bottle a game. Like
Yeah.
we're up 8 points in the fourth quarter, and we end up losing that game eventually because last year we were the best team in clutch time. Like we barely like bottle a game. The question is, we usually start slowly, and every time we're chasing a game, that was our biggest problem. Every time we're chasing a game, and by the time we're in third quarter, we have been down 15 already. Your first half have been down 15. By the time we're in third quarter, we have done our best, but we're still down 7. You feel me? And so by the time those are the losses most of the times. We are always like having slow starts. In fact, it happened yesterday. That's the problem. The question is, can we remove those slow starts? And that's still what's bothering us. But if we are in a game, like for example, third quarter, and we have a lead, like 5 point lead, and points are being exchanged to and fro. Oh, I'm fancying LeBron and AD. I mean, if you watch the in-season tournament, that is exactly what happened. Against Indiana Pacers, against the New Orleans Pelicans. As long as AD is in the game, and you guys are going to and fro, I don't fancy Lakers bottling it. But the question is, can we not start slowly? But AD, in terms of AD, AD is in his prime, and AD is in his prime, and I just wish we could sign like that extra center. And matter of fact, yesterday there was Dwight Howard in the arena, so it made me, you know, you know, have an eye because Dwight Howard was nice. I don't know what he was doing there, but I don't know. Eddie needs help, but with what I'm seeing from Jackson Hayes, I'm very encouraged by the way Jackson Hayes is playing. Defense and offense. He's going up straight,
Yeah.
vertically. Not getting too foul trouble. Offensively with the dunks and putbacks. Those are enough. As long as you can do that, give me 4 points consistently. The keyword is consistently. You can give me 4 points, but can you do it every night, 19, every day, every day? Then I'm not worried. But in terms of AD, we're not worried about AD. It's just the other role players, and that's what I kept on talking about. Austin Reeves obviously is not going to have a night like what he had yesterday. He's not going to score
Yeah.
seven out of 9 threes every game. We know that, but can you produce at least 2 threes? Because as a guard, you average at least 2 wide open threes in a full 48-minute game. Can you bang these daggers? And you saw Austin Reeves is playing better. Hachimura is playing better. Everyone is playing better. Gabe Vincent, in fact, is playing better. It's only the only person with question marks still in Lakers is D'Lo, and I'm still waiting to see what the hell is going on with this guy. But in terms of the offense, we just need to not start slowly. And from today, I'm seeing Lakers is like leading. I think they're having a good start, but I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the Lakers. I'm impressed from what I've seen. JJ Redick is cooking. He's absolutely cooking, man. Man, put some words for JJ Redick, man, because he's done so well to get this team from where we were. With the whole timeout thing with Davinham. Not knowing what to do on offense and defense. Davinham was a fraud. So man, give some love to JJ Redick real quick.
I mean, Davenham is, it's funny how every coach that has been, kind of chased out of the league by the teams almost went to the Bucks. So Devin Ham, Doc Rivers, they are all they're all in Milwaukee. It's such a coincidence. But you know, you talk about Jackson Hayes, right? I think there are nights where he's gonna have bigger nights than 4 points. Um, and my only concern for Jackson Hayes is it's not defensively. It's more just can he play at the highest level IQ wise, because sometimes he loses, positions. Where am I supposed to be the most productive? You can't always just go for a screen for the person with the ball. You can realize, oh, the other person has a mismatch. If I screen, I'm gonna get a mismatch on my side, and I'm gonna get the ball. I'm gonna dunk it, right? So recognize those patterns will put the Lakers at a more better place. And then you say that they need a third scorer, right? You need Austin Reeves. So you've got LeBron, AD being your two main scorers, right? You can't have Hachimura as your third. You need a guard to score those points, right? Either D'Lo or Reeves gotta have to average at least 15 per night.
What I'm saying is not gonna be D'Lo, so I'm not
So
sure.
so right, because if the points are coming from the block with AD and then in the post or in the corner with LeBron, you need a guard who is gonna go in the pick and rolls, and then probably because AD is such a vertical spacer, it's gonna give those floaters to Reeves, right? If you can average 15, right, your team is looking good. And then defensively, I think you all look good. You all look good.
Yes, bro, I'm watching the Lakers game right now, and Dwight Howard is in the rain again. Lakers is playing well. It's a 26-40 lead. They're playing well. They are playing well,
Do
but
you think they might going for Dwight Howard?
I hope so. That's the thing. I don't care
Okay,
anyone.
so you're
Anyone.
keeping hopes. But look, let's move off of the Lakers chief.
But before we move on another topic, just to round up on the Lakers, you talked about Jackson Hayes. Can you do yeah, my whole point was not is he the best backup center right now? No, it's just that am I seeing an improvement from last year? And that is enough for me. A little bit extra from each player is what I'm looking for from last year because we have a good team. It is just the athleticism that was costing us.
Which you
If,
had too much
if
of actually.
and yet we're not using it last year. If you look at, I hate to dwell on the moments of the playoffs last year against the Denver Nuggets, but there was a play that still haunts me up to now. Is the ball was going out, and Austin Reeves didn't really go for it, and then he left it to go out, but it was on our player. And then these guys get the ball, they tip it to Michael Porter Jr. He goes up for the three, and Denver Nuggets is tied. And yet the whole game Lakers was playing well. And then the tide, the rest of the story, was the whole buzzer beat and all that. We know the story from there. But can we get a little bit of that athleticism? And from what I'm saying from Jackson Hayes, he is helping AD because last year AD didn't have help, in terms of when he's off. But now when AD is off, I'm like, okay, Jackson Hayes has been playing great. Is he the best backup center? No, obviously he has a lot to work upon, right? And this is why there's obviously preseason camp and all that. But he'll work on that. But from what I'm saying from the Lakers, I was gonna give my wild take. I gave my wild take on audio yesterday, but I think the Lakers will be in the championship, Western Conference Championship finals, Western Conference, Western Conference finals, and go to the NBA. No, I don't know if we'll go to the
The
NBA finals,
finals.
but I know we'll be there. I know we'll be one of the two teams from the West, because from the East, I know Boston will be there, and we'll talk about Boston. But from the West, I'm optimistic.
Look.
Um,
Before you get out of here, I just want to mention this, right? And this is not a wishful thinking because I'm not a Lakers fan. I don't even want it to happen, yeah. But if the Lakers get Dwight Howard, they're winning a championship this year.
if,
if
if we can do that and help our PG and get a
no,
consistent,
no, Malcolm, what are you talking
bro,
about? He is
man,
Dwight Howard, man.
see the thing. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about D'Lo. What?
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, if you give more minutes with the second unit, D'Lo and Dwight Howard, and they are like playing together in the second unit. Come on, man, talk to me. Like
Yeah,
Dilo
yeah,
can't play in a setting where there is Reeves because
yeah,
Austin Reeves
true,
is such a guard and Dilo is the other guard, and they both don't know how to play off the ball. In a way, I'm not saying they don't know, but they are more productive with the ball in their hands, right?
true.
But then Dilo, so it's like he's not in a setting where he's able to play the game he wants to play. But if you give him the Dwight Howard, take off every other guy on the second unit, talk to me. Are the Lakers not better?
Yeah, yeah. I think we'll go to the NBA Finals. Only that Boston will win. We'll get into Boston with how fluid they look, but there's not really much talk about how Boston did because we gave a whole analysis on this. But just to round up on the Lakers, I was so impressed with the way we had rebounds. I talked about athleticism, like our defensive rebounds and offensive rebounds. I mean, there were positions where we were getting like 4 offensive rebounds. Oh, you like that's crazy. Like Lakers enter a rebounding team. That's the problem. Like we shouldn't just walk back and But yesterday it felt like the crashing the board. Jackson is crashing the board. AD crashing the board. And turning like like those moments when you're going to when you have like a bad position, like when like you keep the ball up to like 5 seconds to make a move, like those terrible positions, and then you make a tough shot over nothing, you know, getting and the ball hitting the rim and then coming out and then grabbing that, crashing that board to get 14 more seconds. Those are the plays that win you the games, not the final play of the game in the final seconds left. Those plays during the fourth quarter are the ones that win you the games. I thought we did well there. We crashed the boards. Dilo was actually making threes like when we needed them. That's a good thing. That maybe he's getting a few points, but when we needed like the threes, like when these guys have a little bit of momentum and we need a three and he's wide open, he was making the threes. So give him credit for that. And we'll see how the season goes. But again, it was a small sample size. But before we move on to a different topic, I just want to tell the guys, the audience, that Lakers is playing tonight, but after they'll have a road trip for 5 games. And Bronny will be traveling, but after the road trip, he'll be going to G League, so he'll have a
Oh,
chance to develop from there. Yeah, but it looks like
but
Bronny's time.
look, Malcolm, look,
Yep.
really, one more time, yeah. It's not a coincidence that Dwight Howard is in Crypto Arena yesterday, and he's playing. He's in Crypto Arena tonight. And given the fact that Jackson Hayes, as much as he's a good player, they might need a backup center to just kind of,
Yeah. I've
enforce
always
the places. So what I'm seeing here is maybe LeBron and Loparinka and JJ Redick, who played with Dwight Howard in Orlando, might be cooking. So don't forget, JJ Redick played a long time with with Dwight Howard, right? So put that into consideration. He won a championship for the Lakers 2020, right, with LeBron. So my guy, you might start celebrating. This just came to mind that JJ Redick actually played
Yeah,
with him
but
in
let's
Orlando.
first sign him. Don't jinx it. Let's first sign him before we get excited and before we raise our dopamine and hopes. But I'm now what I've seen from Lakers last offense. We played two very good teams. We played the Phoenix Suns and the Timberwolves. These are like contenders to come out of the West. And usually, whenever Lakers is playing such teams, we always premeditate that it's going to be a foregone conclusion that we will lose the game. And when we win, it's like a miracle because we have AD and LeBron. But what I'm saying, I'm confident we can beat any team in the West apart from Boston. But that's like in the finals, not like in a normal game. Because the normal game we usually beat Boston in the regular season. But I'm now waiting to judge Lakers on how we respond after a loss, obviously, and especially after like a blowout loss, how we react like those minutes. And then I'll see how we play during those games because you need moments of adversity as well to know to get through something. It's not just about wins. And JJ Redick, I think, talked about that as well. But for now we will be looking to go 1-0 every day, every every day that we have a game. And we go on the road. On the road, obviously, I don't think we win under 5 games, but we'll be playing to win every game because I feel like Lakers has a good enough squad. But let's talk about something else now. Let's talk about another team. Which team do you want to go into first? Among the observations, which one do you want to go into first? With
Amen. It's gonna be choose.
what?
You choose.
I'll choose the Denver Nuggets because the Denver Nuggets have looked awful. Matter of fact, they lost today.
Why did you
They
choose
lost.
the negative
They
one?
lost they lost to Clippers. Clippers without Kawhi, without PG. They lost to Clippers. Norman Powell, 37 points. Absolutely good. Absolutely good. Like these guys look tired. These guys are tired. These guys are tired. I mean, Stephen A. even said this. Stephen A. predicted that Denver Nuggets to come out of the West. But when they lost to Thunder, he came out and apologized in front of the national television, apologizing that, hey guys, I was silly when you guys were choosing OKC for the West, and I chose Denver because from what I saw yesterday, Denver looks so old. They look so old. They look tired. They look exhausted. They look drained. They don't have help. Jokic dropped like 40 points today. Like there's no way Jokic drops 40 and you're still losing that game. He needs help. He needs the bench left. He
You,
doesn't
you
have
know,
help.
one thing I agree with you, right? The Denver Nuggets, right? They have Nikola Jokic, and that's established with Jamal Murray. Um, and their bench is there, but to me, I think the struggle is coming from Michael Porter Jr. and incorporating new people, right? The loss of Caldwell Pope is gonna
KCP.
hurt them that much.
Yeah, it is. Are you? I wait. So are you high on them, or you think they're not good anymore?
Oh no 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 no! Listen, that's what I'm saying. Like the loss of Caldwell Pope, it's gonna hurt them, right? It's gonna put them in a place where they're bringing in another person who doesn't really understand the offense like he used to, right? So they going to struggle. Maybe the best they will do will probably an early exit in the first round. That's when they have been successful and the young guys have played so good. Early exit first round. Because the way the West is stacked, I know Nicola is a beast, but he is a beast if he has the people around him to be able to support his beast mode, right? Because the moment he takes you to the boss and the rest of the defense collapses, the rest of the team, are they able to capitalize on that? And I don't think right now Denver has the personnel to be able to capitalize on that. They need
Yeah,
a little bit of new shooters. I see they have rookies who can shoot and all that, but their rookies still need to learn a little bit of things to get to the level they need to win a chip or even make noise to the conference finals.
yeah. But I told you, this Denver guy is from last year. Like I told you, after winning the championship and they lost KCP. No, they didn't lose KCP. They lost Bruce Brown and Uncle Jeff. I
And
was like,
KCP2 is gone. He's in Magic.
yeah, now KCP has gone as well this year. But last year I was like, these guys, I ain't scared of them. You take out your Jokic, obviously you can't take out your Jokic, but you take the other players out on offense, you pretty much leave the Jokic because he's not going to score the 120 points for Denver. Just leave him to score his 40 or 50. You don't care. But take out these other guys of Murray. You can pocket Murray. You can pocket KCP. You can pocket Gordon. You can pocket all these guys. You pocket all those guys and you leave Jokic to do his thing. Jokic will even drop 50 and they'll still lose. From what I'm seeing, that these guys are not efficient. They're not efficient, and I'm not worried about these guys. Like they will be in the top six, obviously, because they're a good team, but they have lost their first two games at home, and they've lost both games. The Nuggets usually don't lose at home, and they lost to OKC and they lost to Clippers, who are a young team. Sorry, OKC was a young team, but they lost to Clippers. Who the person who played well against them as a bench player, or like a role player, Norman Powell. That's concerning, especially if you
Oh
lose
no!
by two
By
games.
the way, Norman Paul is not just a bench player. He's just been a bench player because there is a lot of talent in the NBA, but he's always been a
Yeah.
bench.
Anyways, that's concerning, but that's concerning. But let's talk about the Warriors, and I only want to talk about one point about the Warriors. Only one single point. So I heard that I heard the Warriors is using a 14-man rotation for their games. What happened to
No,
no?
I think people are taking this out of context.
I cannot use more than 10 players in a game. What happened to that? What happened to that? Just
No,
what
no.
happened?
Listen, right now I think it's a little different. The Warriors would definitely have to trim their rotation guys down as the season moves on, But I think the reason why you have 14 people playing is because they are blowing out teams from preseason, and the starters don't have to play. Even the bench players don't have to play. And now G leaguers are the ones playing the rest of the minutes, right? But then he is playing 12 guys, not 14. Like in a 48 minutes like game time. And I think what people don't realize that the Warriors are very deep, right? They have such a deep team that regardless of what number you call upon, they can be able to feel not just as a role player, but give you good and productive minutes, right? And I know like they're studying Tress Jackson Davis. He is a rookie, right? So and now you have Kavan Looney coming off the bench. He's a 3-time, 4-time champion, right? So now you start thinking, oh wow, right? So the way they're deep kind of allows them to play the 12. And the second thing is that now, Steve, this is one thing I was telling you during the Olympics, right? What is the rest of the coaching staff doing? But from what I've heard, is that the rest of the coaching staff is telling Steve, hey, look at this talent. Let's use them, see where this takes us. We could have good things from this, right? And also the experience of Jason Tatum as in Paris in the Olympics, it kind of told him a little bit of something, right? So they're playing 12 guys, but I think it will be trimmed off a little bit as we go forward, because if you're playing a team like Lakers, you
They're
might
playing
not be able to
14.
play 12.
They're playing 14, not 12. Check.
It's 14 because they are blowing teams out because everybody else is playing the rest of the garbage
That, bro,
minutes.
that's practically three lineups, bro. Like three starting fives in one game. That's crazy. Considering he is not a guy who uses more than 10 players for one game. So
But I
controversy that we
think
shall
I
not get
think
into. But
you
he's
know
a
what you
hypocrite.
talk
Steve
about.
Kerr. For using 14 players in Warriors game and using 10 players in Olympics, he's a hypocrite for that. I'm just glad he's not the Olympics coach anymore because this is bam. Hold up. Warriors has not played anybody yet because they played the Jazz and the Blazers. But their real test probably is tomorrow against the Clippers. But I fancy them winning. But the real test comes up next week, November 6th versus the Celtics.
I do
Yes.
think so.
That's
So
the real test.
this
That's
is
the
my
real
best this is my
test.
best thing about
That,
this, right?
that's
The
gonna be fire.
Celtics,
That's gonna be fire.
remember the Celtics beat the Warriors so bad last year in the last game.
Yeah,
So
like by
bad, blew
50,
them
bro.
out. Right. So my thinking right now is if Steph did come out and say, I own the Celtics, I am expecting a revenge game on that date next week, and I'm watching it, right? I know that the Warriors will do what they want to do, because what hindered them last year was their 3-point shooting. And right now, it is at best peak because the rest of the guys on the team can shoot threes, including Raymond Green. So I am telling the Celtics. I know Celtics have been going through teams and through teams trying to
You're
beat them,
missing
blah
it,
blah
my
blah.
guy.
This is
You missed
gonna be the real test for the Warriors and the real test for the
that's the first that's
Celtics.
the first test because I'm looking at the teams you guys have right now. You guys have I don't know if Clippers will bring their A game that they beat like they brought against Denver today, but you have Rockets and then you have Pelicans, you have the Wizards, you have the Cavs, maybe the Cavs, then the Hawks. Like you guys have like a very suitable schedule. But between like now and the beginning of the instant tournament, you guys have the Celtics, maybe and the Mavs. Yeah, those are like the two other the two tests you guys have. But other than that, you guys then have the Brooklyn Nets, the Rockets again, you know. But then after that, I think now in December, like the big teams coming, the Timberwolves, the Lakers on Christmas Day. That will be
But
fun to watch.
do you know why I like this? I like this for the Warriors because for them it's easy to build the momentum to make mistakes and
It's
correct
awesome,
them
yeah.
and still win against this weaker team. And
Yeah, we used yeah,
by the time they have built connections and chemistry, and they have corrected a lot of mistakes in their rotations, and they have figured out what is their actual identity, they will be playing these big teams, and now their confidence is already there. They have like the league is doing something for them if you think about it in a way, right? So I really think it's gonna be such a good and a crucial thing for them to just be able to do whatever they want against these bottom teams and gear up for the bigger teams. But again, Malcolm, I'm waiting for the Celtics game.
The Celtics, bro.
Oh,
The Celtics. You know, they are gonna be in TD Garden. I wanted to buy a ticket, but tickets are hella expensive, bro. Now because like the average ticket of like a Celtics game last year was not forget about like the full season ticket thing, like all that stuff. But like one game, the average price was like 150, like minimum price, but average there was 150, which is okay. But now since they're the champions, they have like the minimum is like 340, like 340 averagely. And by 340, I mean you are sitting up in the rafters. You know what up in the rafters means? Like you're sitting like in the like freaking final row, when if it's like a stage performance, you need like binoculars to see what's going on down there.
wait, so
So
how
now it's
much is
very
like the yearly? Like if you want to buy the
the
yearly
only thing
season?
the only thing is like three is like 4,000. That's not that well. That's not too bad considering Americans are like they're like wealthy, but obviously I can't afford that because I'm a student and it's not like effective for me if I'm not a Warriors fan. I'm a Celtics fan. Um, but but for me, like if I'm going to TD Garden, I'm buying like a one time ticket. Last year I could get one at $150, like cheaply, 120. In fact, the Lakers game I got was 100, like 120. But now Lakers is like is like 302, 320, and that is without the service fee. The Warriors, like obviously they're the champions, so there's a price to that. And now obviously teams like the Denver Nuggets, the Bucks, the Warriors, the Lakers, there's a higher price to those than the Pistons. So it's a business, so it's just expensive. So I'll watch it from here. But you talked about revenge about Steph Curry. Have you looked at it from the other sense? That Jason Tatum against Steve Kerr. Yes. Jason
Oh,
Tatum.
I
Let's
forgot that
go.
part. Oh yeah.
Jason Tatum is bowling. He's bowling, bro. I think he had 30 points again today. He's bowling. Jason Tatum. He's bowling. You didn't look at. You forgot that perspective. Oh, so
Now,
I got what
but
you.
you know what like what I like about this is that not only will Jason
Uh,
Tatum want revenge against Steve Kerr, but also like there is such a big history between these two teams, and I'm sure Draymond Green will prepare the team at least. Hey, this is not just a regular game. This is a game for us, for your coach, right? Because I know, yeah, if they win, the rest of the media is going fire on Steve Kerr. Like, hey, he sent a message, you know. But you know, when we're still on the same topic of the Warriors, I just want you to know that it's surprising that Steph doesn't have to carry as much load as he had to last year, and they still win games. And I know this is just still two games in and two like very bottom teams, but it's more how Buddy Hield is really fitting the system, you know, and how much threes he's been able to shoot just because of Steph Curry, right? And then their defense looks better with Jonathan Kuminga, uh, Andrew Wiggins, Tress Jackson Davis, and Draymond Green being your starting four plus Steph Curry. So technically, the only person who's on the floor that isn't there for defense is Steph Curry, right? The rest of those guys, they are when you know. I think Draymond is the short one at 6'6", but who plays like a 7 footer, right? The rest of those guys are 7'7", 7'8", 7'9", right? I mean 6'9", 6'8", right? So and now you have Wiggins being able to shoot, Kuminga being able to shoot, and also the athleticism is out of the roof. And then you have a very like with Looney, you can't throw lobes, right? So you can't really run pick and rolls. But with Tress Jackson Davis, it don't matter whether with Kaminga or Steph, you can do whatever the pick and roll, and then you throw the lob. And if they don't throw the lob, you're just gonna lay it out because they know they fear him. He can catch the lob, right? So adding that aspect of the game for them, and then you know with Buddy Hield sometimes playing alongside Steph Curry or coming off the bench or Podzemski, with their splits and stuff, right? They look really good. The only thing that worried me last year was they couldn't shoot threes. The other thing
yeah,
was
that's
they couldn't
true.
play defense for their life.
Yeah. Obviously, I haven't watched the Warriors game because they're playing against. They're called lottery teams, the ones that get like the mock drafts, the ones that are always like below like the seeding from 11 to 15. But I'll be there against the Celtics. I'll be there to watch it. And maybe tomorrow against the Clippers, maybe I'll determine. But that will be the first one I'll watch. But from what I'm seeing, from the statistics, obviously the numbers don't lie. I feel like Draymond is being effective. And
Really?
I prefer someone who's effective than efficient. Like Jokic, which is a weird take because I rather prefer to get like a Draymond effective game. I mean, even if he's dropping, Draymond usually now is fuck the points. He's just going with 2 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. But he's effective. He's effective. Like, but Jokic is like dropping 30 points. But I don't really see like that effectiveness in the team. It's more on like a personal perspective.
Yeah, but
Because,
like that's the beauty. That's the beauty for Draymond, right? He's gonna
yeah,
drop 2 points.
that's why I like when Draymond is on the court. Like he's effective for the team. Even if he gets 0 points, you can see that without him, this team
I
is
think
nowhere.
the stat that tells you what Draymond Green did is if you go in the plus minuses, right? When he was on the floor, what was the
Yeah,
team plus minus like? It's usually
yeah,
out of the roof, like
yeah,
literally glass.
yeah. Because that stat is very undermined because it's one of the most useless stats because
Yeah.
every starter has a greater plus or minus stat because they are starting in the game, obviously.
But
And there are more points on the court than off the court because they are starters. So no one really cares about it. But in terms of Draymond Green, you saw how it impacted them last year with the whole charges and
no,
stuff. But I
but
think
also Malcolm, like it's not just individually plus minuses, right? It's like what was the team like overall team plus minus when he was on the floor, right? Versus when he wasn't. It's usually like a very big gap. And besides, right, the moment you have somebody who can play defense like he does, and the way he screens and just understand the floor like a point guard, you don't need no points from him. And the other thing is people are forgetting he's shooting, I think, 40% from the 3 point
that's high.
since last
Draymond,
year. Since
that's
last
high.
year. Last year he
That's
was shooting 39 the whole season.
I remember that game last year. I was against the Lakers, like around the end of the season, when he shot like I don't know, like 5 threes. I remember that
So
game. It was a
and
weird one. Like you also couldn't believe it. It was weird, but that's a high number.
yeah,
But yeah, Draymond Green, although he got a technical, and I remember when I woke up like
I
in the
was
first
watching that game.
Draymond already
I,
that
I didn't know
technical,
what
like,
to do.
and everyone is like, and then Steve Guy is like, yeah, Draymond, like that's who he is. Like he either if you want him to go all in aggressive, you have to give up the risk of him getting technicals and ejected because he cannot get the balance. He just can't do the balance of being aggressive and you're not talking with refs. So you either tell him to shut up the whole game and be like a dog, like a small puppy, or tell him to be a dog and get technical. So you either take the risk, and it feels like Steve Kerr prefers that risk of him getting
Yeah,
ejected. So
but
he has
but
like a
also Malcolm, if I was watching that game and Buddy Hield actually fouled the player and they put the foul on Draymond, right? And my problem was, look, you can't just call a foul on somebody simply because it was a scuffle and now you just assist it on anybody, right? And then Draymond is
yeah,
going crazy like, hey man, I didn't touch this man. I fell down. Right. It
yeah.
wasn't me. But then the
But can't you
refs,
challenge that? Can't you challenge that call? The whole
no,
foul
you,
on thing.
you couldn't challenge because then it will catch Buddy Hield. Technically, the team will still get the foul, right? So the problem was more like, Rafe, can you assess things correctly? And then you add on to the history with Rafes and Draymond Green. They have the way of
Yeah,
going at him
got that
directly
agenda
all
now.
the
Yeah,
time, right? So, and I also think that the
yeah,
Raves should be held accountable when it comes to Draymond Green because it shouldn't be only him trying so hard not to get a technical. It should also be about the Raves saying, "Oh, okay, we need to start a new page, a page where we see Draymond Green like any other player, not a player with history
yeah,
of getting takes." Right? I
yeah. I
think
mean,
that's one line that has been crossed many times.
yeah, he's being unfairly treated. Like, let's face it. Like, I remember on the media day, he was asked a question about people worried about you. Like, which kind of question was that? Is it? It's not like he's a lion who's going to eat people on the court.
Come on,
So
man. Like,
a weird
media.
question
I
there.
hate media, man. I don't.
But yeah, it was very unfair. But Draymond. Anyways, we'll see how Warriors gets up to it. What's the next point? Let's see.
You
What's the
know,
next?
Zion hasn't played.
I haven't
So
watched a Pelicans game yet, so I can't really.
yeah, but it's funny. I don't know, and it's gonna be different, but also, you know, I think the other teams to look at is Fidi has not played. Um, I'm not gonna say well because Joel and Paul George are not on the floor, so technically I can't really assess any of it. But look at the Thunder, my guy.
Oh, the Thunder, but the Thunder look
The
good.
Thunder. I'm gonna who I feel so good about this guy. I feel like I
They
shouldn't be a Warrior fan anymore. I
look
wanna
good.
I wanna be a
You know,
Thunder fan, man.
these guys have invested. They've invested in everything. You know, the coach, the players. Chet, Chet overplayed Jokic. Like the way Chet dominated, like blocking. All defense to offense, coast to coast. Chet Holmgren was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. And now you're looking at last year, it was only Shea who was producing the points, but
Yeah.
now it feels like Shea has a lot of help. The Thunder look. Everyone is talking about how the Thunder, and I have never really thought that. I've never really Lakers always beat the Thunder. So whenever people say Thunder is good, I'm like every time like Lakers is always like beating these guys. But what I'm seeing, I'm like they won't beat us, but they have a shout to other
Let
teams
me
now.
tell you
Like
let
they are
me tell you what
stronger.
you're talking
These
about,
guys are
Malcolm.
good.
What you're saying is very right? But what the Thunder did this offseason is they went and got Isaiah Ashman.
Caruso,
What is his name? Isaiah. What is the other word name?
Hartenstein,
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to mess it up. But Isaiah,
Hartenstein.
he was
The guy
from
was
the
the
Knicks.
Knicks. Eh?
Yes, he was from the Knicks, right? So
Yeah,
when
and
they
he
bring in
didn't even play.
Isaiah, it allows Chet Holmgren not to play the five, but rather the four,
Yeah, but that's the
which
thing.
allows
Chet
him
didn't.
to be more offensively minded than playing defense on the fives. So now he
Yeah,
doesn't have to do with Joker the whole night,
yeah.
and it keeps his legs up. And now defensively, he's dominate. I mean, offensively, he's dominating, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
That's why Nuggets looked so bad because Chet was against Jokic and Chet overplayed Jokic. He outplayed Jokic. And even he got 25 points he got 25 points offensively. That is what's like, look made Nuggets look bad and made the Thunder look so good because Hartenstein wasn't even there and these guys looked fluid as hell. So
and then now you bring on the the Thunder losing to Lakers many times, right? I think now it will be a different story if Chet is not having to deal with um
Anthony Davis
Anthony
definitely.
Davis, and
Yeah,
then you have
it,
Caruso playing LeBron, right? So now you start seeing the balance. I think they have done such a great. Yo, I can't
it's not
even
good.
stress enough
Yeah.
because
It's not
Caruso
good.
is such a player, and Lou Dort, yo, talk to me. Like, it's this
Uh,
team just has a vibe to it. It feels like they're coming for everything this year.
And these guys are a team. Like every time they do like a post game interview, like together, like backing. These guys like they're enjoying. That's the main part about the sport. It's not just coming to work. It's enjoying what you're doing, and these guys are enjoying each other's minutes, each
The,
other's
the, the
supporting each other.
Thunder, the Thunder reminds me of the Warriors 2015 when Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson were young, right? The vibe around the players and the locker room, it kind of keeps even the old guys a little younger just because how they are energetic, the barking dog type of stuff, right? How they get the crowd going. But I think there will be such scary team in this season, and staying on the same West, coast type of thing. I want you to tell me something. Clay doesn't look too bad in the Dallas uniform.
Oh yes,
Clay
but
doesn't
Kevin,
look too bad in Dallas.
Clay looks good, eh? He looked good. He
You
looked good
know,
for the match. He looked good. He dropped like what 23 points, 22 points.
Ooh.
He looked good. He looked good. I gotta say he looked good. But still, he's still not good anymore. He's still washed. He's still a washed player for me. So
Let
dropping
me tell
22
you
points,
something, Malcolm. Let me tell you
but he
something.
looked good. I'll give him that. He looked good.
Clay Thompson was being asked too much as a Warrior. He was being asked to be the second scorer like he has been in the past, right? Which he is no more. But now he has to be the third scorer after Kyrie and Luca, right? So now you have to be worried about Kyrie, you have to be worried about Luca, and now you leave Clay open. And I'm sure if he misses two open shots without the mindset of scoring, because in the Warrior, he had to score to stay on the contract. But as a Mavs, all he's gonna do is make a shot, not shots, just make a shot, right? And so the mindset and the fresh start kind of gives him the ability to block all the noise outside and just shoot whenever he wants, shoot whenever he feels like. And that's all he needed, and that's all you can ask for. And he's
Don't
delivered,
worry.
and he's gonna
Don't
continue
worry.
delivering.
That game, they'll need a three. And they shoot it to Clay, you'll miss. Don't worry. I got you. Wait
You're
and see.
such a negative human
Wait and
being.
see. Wait and see. But he looked good. Like, he looked good out there. You saw that shot when Luka even was like,
I
I
think
don't
I'm
know.
only worried for him defensively.
I'm
Um,
worried offensively.
y- no, defensively because I saw he was guarding a bunch of guards and shooting guards, which was
Well, does he
he's not
start in the
fast
Mavs?
anymore.
Does he start?
Yeah, he was a starter. Yeah. So PJ, Clay, uh, Derek Lively, Luca, and Kyrie.
Derek Lively is now starting, not Daniel Gafford. I know they sold this guy used to
Oh
use
no
his
no no
left
no!
hand. They
I
sold him.
think Gafford. So usually it's about matchups. Like this team, Gafford will start, and then the other team, Lively will start.
I think they sold like a Daniel Jones Jr. something like that. Daniel Jones Senior, the guy who was the left guy. I think they sold him or they traded him, as
Ah,
they say.
he went to the Clippers. Yeah, he
Yeah,
went to the Clippers.
but
And then rightfully so. If he was a good 3 point shooter, they could have won a championship last year.
yeah.
But he wasn't a shooter, so
So,
it was
so
easy
you
for
think
the
that? So you think if the Mavs get another chance against the Celtics with Clay this time in the finals, you think they'll overpower the Celtics?
defensively Clay might become a problem for them. But offensively, he might be such a better replacement for the other guy, but he cannot make up the defensive part of it, which would
And
be
he's
also.
old. He's edging. He's
Yeah,
edging.
because
So
if he's matched up against like a Jalen Brown, he's just gonna bully him, you know, and or a Tatum. Tatum is just gonna blow by because Tatum is way too fast, right? So it's gonna be more, can he guard bigger players? Because then if he can guard bigger players, the pressure of being on the perimeter is taken off of him and left to PJ Washington and probably Kyrie Irving.
yeah. Okay, Claret. One last question before you wrap up. Actually, we're wrapping up. I know every time a champion wins a championship, a team wins a championship, the next season they go in as favorites. But which one team? Only one. I don't want you to give me this may be this or this may be this with injuries or without injuries. Screw that. I just want like one prediction from you. Which team do you think like will win a championship? Forget about playing Boston in the finals and all this other stuff. Just give me that one team because when Denver won coming into last year, everyone was like Denver is the team to beat. When Boston won last year, Boston becomes the next team to beat. And again, if Boston wins this year, next year they will be the team to beat. But winning a three-peat is hard. We've not seen the team win back-to-back since 2018. So obviously, Boston has to be the favorite, the team to beat, and rightly so. They're the champions. But if there was a team to overthrow them, which one would you think would do it this year? Like in the whole league,
So
one
a team to beat the Celtics.
not to beat the Celtics to win the championship to overthrow them.
The,
Like
the,
how
the
Boston did Denver, but they won the championship, even if they didn't play Denver.
Chief, at this point in time, the Boston Celtics are still the top. They winning
Yeah,
it.
I know. But I'm saying I know that's what I'm saying. That rightly so they're the favorites, but excluding the Boston, the other 29 teams in the league, which one would you think would have like has a championship squad with the way they look right now?
You are putting me in such a very bad
It's a
position right
prediction, bro. I'm not telling you to prophesy or something. It's a prediction.
I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Yeah, because I was thinking about the West, but like,
But see,
Giannis.
that's the thing. That's the thing about playoffs is that you don't need to think about a team to play a team. It's focused on yourself because if you're Boston and last year they thought Denver was the best, they're anticipating a Boston Denver finals, but you don't even have to play Denver if they play like the Mavs because the Mavs be the Wolves that be the Denver. So that's why you have to think about yourself. Not worry about all other things. But if you want to think about the West, that's for Western Conference Finals. But like generally, you think the Bucks can like you think they have
Yes,
enough?
if I take away the Celtics, I'm gonna take the Bucks because the Bucks would be able to beat the Thunder just because of their personnel, and that's
Yeah.
the only reason I'm choosing them. And then if I take out the Bucks, give me the Thunder. So those are my top three:
Oh,
Celtics, Milwaukee, Thunder.
yeah. People are going for Thunder these days, like for winning the thing. So that's
Yeah,
interesting.
but that's all just because we're here. In my heart, I got the Warriors all
Yeah,
night,
because
baby.
you're a fan, there's obviously a bias behind that, but we both know Warriors is never going to win the finals in the current
They
year.
will
So
win this
uh,
year. I'm just telling you. Anyways, let's
that's
get
what you
out of
said
here.
last year. Yeah, you guys barely made the playoffs. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the game today. We will see you next time, and don't forget to subscribe, to like, to follow, to share, and to send in any questions you have, to give us any feedback. And with that, we'll call it a night. Bye for me. Good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
Hit
guys.
that
Peace.
subscribe button, share, like. We out of here. Peace.